Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to Manga Mondays! I haven't done Manga Mondays in like 4 weeks, and that's because I've always been caught up with a lot of the new vlogs that I've been doing for anime reviews, but I'm really glad to get back into Manga Mondays. And this week's Manga Mondays is a little bit special because we're going to talk about a very specific series. So I am doing a manga series review for this video, and it's a bit different from the usual manga I introduce in Manga Mondays, but hopefully with all the longer series that I'm following right now, if I finish them, I'm going to try and do Manga Mondays review for them, and you guys can look forward to some manga vlogs. A little bit of a change up from usual anime, but I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless. So today we're talking about the entire manga series of Donten ni Warau, also known as Laughing Under the Clouds. Donten ni Warau is also an anime series that has been adapted for this season's releases for new anime. And I wanted to talk about the manga as a whole because I don't know how far the anime is going to animate the manga series, but I hope they do get to the end because the series is finished. It has about 30 chapters, and I haven't read a series in a really long time where I really got into the characters, the dialogue, the story, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So just to give you guys like a quick rundown on the plot, Donten ni Warau focuses on 3 brothers of the Kumo family who are in charge of transporting criminals to the Gokumonjo prison. It's the Meiji era where the samurai have been abolished, and there are a lot of disenfranchised members of the traditionalist, very traditional nationalist ideals, and they're not really happy with how the new government has taken to a lot of the Western changes. So there's a lot of like political instability. But the story focuses more on the 3 brothers, and it actually brings in a lot of elements of mythology and a lot of like Japanese supernatural elements as well. And it blends that with a lot of modern elements that you see getting incorporated into Japanese culture at the time. So the main focus of the series is to find the Orochi vessel. And the Orochi vessel is the person who houses the snake spirit or serpent that is prophesied to bring calamity onto the land. So through this legend, we see like investigations going on, and this is all tied to the Kumo family. I'm gonna try and talk about some of the characters without spoiling the series. I actually really like how each of the characters were portrayed. Depending on their age, their responsibilities, and their backstory, each of the 3 brothers perceives the events happening at different paces, and they are exposed to different parts of the stories depending on their role. So it's not so much that you see a focus on one brother over the other. There is one brother who's more of like a main character. Soromaru is the middle child, second brother, and he is the protagonist of which the story is told from. It starts out very much like Soromaru is the head-first, very stubborn hero who wants to catch up to his older brother, and as the story progresses, it changes in that the series sets up with a lot of traditional, like stereotypical kind of characters, and you think that each of the characters is going to fit into the mold that the author has set for them. But in the end, the author uplifts every single character from their usual mold, and they totally change up everything. Each character is actually given a very ample amount of time to develop quite a bit. We don't get like super crazy deep into their emotions because there is a very strong connection between like character development and like plot development. So a lot of times we are focusing on the overarching plot perspective rather than on each brother's emotional side. My favorite character of the entire series is probably Tenka Kumo. I know a lot of you guys are fans of Soromaru just because Soromaru is the main character, and most of the events do revolve around him at the very beginning. Tenka actually knows a lot more than Soromaru does because Soromaru is still growing up and he's really sheltered by Tenka. I think the mangaka did a really great job of bringing out Tenka's best aspects, but also balancing them with the reactions that he would have to a lot of what's happening in the story, and that effect made Tenka come off as a lot more realistic. He wasn't just the older brother like shouldering burdens protecting his younger brothers. He came off as a lot more than that, and that's partially because of the Kumo brothers' similar personality traits in that they're always very welcoming, very warm, very friendly. They're always laughing. If you're a big fan of like heroic qualities in characters, that's part of the reason why all the Kumo brothers are such attractive characters. There's less of a focus with Chutoro in the manga just because he's so young when everything happens, but it's nice to see that towards the end you do see him grow a little bit as a character because of all the crazy things that are happening around him. I feel like towards the end of the series where everything in the plot was really stirring up, a lot of the characters seemed a bit disconnected from each other, and then new characters were introduced, but I think at the end they did reconcile it all very well, and we do get an after story series, so you guys can like check out what happens to the characters after that. It's also really nice to know that all the characters are resolved and reconciled in the best way possible, and I do think Donten ni Warau in the manga has one of the best endings that I've seen in a really long time for like action, feudal, supernatural kind of series. In terms of art style, I did find the art style a little difficult to get into just because the 3 brothers brothers do look very similar when they're drawn. Thank goodness the mangaka gave them different hairstyles and different outfits. And the action shots are a little bit hard to follow at times, but I think once you get into it, the story flows very easily. And because the dialogue is very helpful, you get a really great balance of text and visuals. The information reveals and the twists are spaced out in such a way that there is enough recovery time for it, but as you get deeper into the series, you just kind of go, 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 go. And that's good because it is a very suspenseful series. The premise is set up in such a way that you know there's a mystery that has to be solved at the end of the series, and that's basically what the series aims at. There aren't like small arcs of anything. It starts off pretty normal and then it twists up and there's betrayal and there's deceit and chaos ensues, and it all accumulates to this really grand finish, which I really liked. I thought it got a really great ending and it was the ending that it deserved. So I hope you guys really check out this manga. I really think Donten Warau is one of those really rare series that's kind of underrated because I don't see as many people mention it. I am glad to see it getting more attention because of the anime adaptation, and the anime is actually doing a really great job of balancing both the comedy scenes with the very dramatic scenes. I do think a lot of the over emotional scenes have a lot more impact when they're in black and white visuals in the manga, but I am looking forward to seeing some of my favorite moments animated. I do think it is one of the stronger anime series that have debuted this season. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have read this series, comment below on what you guys thought have been happening. Try not to spoil it for people who have not seen it, but I really want to know who your favorite character is, what you guys thought of some of those betrayal twists, and just in general, your thoughts on the series. And if you guys are looking for more from me, check out any of the links below on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and of course the blog, because the blog is updated above all else. And thank you guys so much for watching this video of Manga Mondays, and hopefully Manga Mondays next week will return, and I will talk to you guys in my next video then. Bye!